Hi there, this is Anthony, and I've got another quick tip for you based on a question I received quite a lot. And the question is, why do you recommend learning to memorize a deck of cards? It's a great question, and the answer might surprise you. The answer is that it's because everything in life costs a lot. Yeah, the reason why I recommend that you memorize a deck of cards, that you learn this skill, and that you actually practice this skill is because of the cost of things in life. Everything costs time, money, and energy, and that's everything. And I'll explain a little bit exactly why everything costs time, money, and energy in a moment. And in all of this, memory improvement is included. It always costs time, memory, and energy. So not having great memory abilities is a very, very painful thing for so many people because of the costs. It costs you the career of your dreams. It costs you self-respect and the respect of others, and it costs you frustration when you can't recall even the simplest of things. And so the career that you can't get because of your memory is a cost. And the energy that you lose from having frustration over your memory problems is a cost. And the self-respect that you lose drains your energy. But when you feel good about yourself and you feel good because you're respected by others, then you get energy. So these are the costs of not having a trained memory. And in order to reduce the cost of memory improvement, you need to do certain things. You need to write down your memory goals. And this is beautiful because it costs energy to do this, and it costs time to do it, and of course it costs a bit of money because you need to get a pen or a pencil and some paper to write down, or maybe you're going to write them down on a computer, which also costs money, and then you got the electricity, and even if you go to the library, you got to pay taxes for the library to exist, and so there's always a cost involved. Now, this isn't to push things to the extreme, but it's important to consider, and it will help free up your memory. And when you start thinking about these things, it will improve your life in many, many different ways. The second thing to do is to learn how to memorize a deck of cards. It's not that difficult. It's a lot of fun, and you can make it even more fun by getting an attractive deck, getting one that literally looks good and feels good in your hand, and it's one that you will proudly carry with you everywhere that you go. And then you make up for lost time by memorizing cards. And you do that while you're sitting in the waiting room, the dentist, the doctor, maybe you are going to see a consultant about anything, and you're just sitting there and waiting. And people might look at you weird, but who cares? People look at you weird no matter what you're doing. You sneeze and people look at you weird, or whatever. I mean, we're just weird people. We're always doing something weird, and people are always looking at us weird, and we're sometimes thinking that they're weird for looking at us, and it's just crazy. So you could be doing something with that time instead of sitting and basking in the weirdness. You can do it while you're riding the bus, and you can even memorize cards when you're binge watching series. So I was watching Prison Break. I just finished this series. It's so amazing, and I was memorizing cards and recalling cards, and it's kind of cool because I'm practicing my memory while that I'm being distracted by a series, and I'm being distracted by the series while I'm practicing my memory, and it's really interesting, and it makes my memory stronger. So then you want to practice recalling the cards, which I basically just said you can do that also in the doctor's office or on the bus or while you're watching a series. And you also want to practice memorizing and recalling cards in quiet situations. And you want to also do it in front of people sometimes, because that gives you the sense of stress and the sense of performance and the consequence of being embarrassed. And you start in stages. You memorize the cards and you recall them in front of your dog. Or you don't have to memorize them in front of people necessarily, but you recall them in front of people to show what you're doing. And this gives you this confidence, but you start with low stress. You start with your dog and your fish or your cat or whatever you have, a lizard, snake. The pets that people have never cease to amaze me, and you start there low stress, and then you tell your family member, you just say, look, I want to work on this, I want to get really good at it, and I need to practice in front of you. I might make a mistake. I don't want to get all stressed out about it, so expect that there may be some mistakes. I might struggle a little bit, but they'll understand, and they won't make it stressful for you, and that will build up your confidence. And that directly applies to memorizing anything and memorizing the information that counts for exams and tests, and so you build up your strength. And so this is very, very important. And this will help you memorize other information faster and with greater accuracy. It really, really does. It's like doing push-ups. It really strengthens your body, and not just your arms, and not just your belly, and not just your legs, the way that push-ups do, but everything. So it helps increase your memory, but it helps increase your imagination, your ability to think quickly, your ability to recall quickly, and it also gives you structural improvements in terms of how you conceive of space and how you imagine your way around your imagination, and it's just really, really amazing. So you really should do this. Just do it. It's awesome. And it will save you time and energy, because when you can memorize information much more quickly and with greater accuracy, then you're going to be able to save time and energy, because you don't have to study for as long, you don't have to spend as much time studying, and you reduce the stress. And stress is extremely costly in terms of energy, and you lose time when you're stressed out. And so what you can then do is use your advanced memory skills that you get from practicing card deck memorization to get out there and make more money. And so this is amazing. And you put all these things together, and you're going to have a much, much better life, and you're going to achieve your goals at a much higher level than you would otherwise. And so that is a great thing. So I hope this quick tip serves you, and that you'll get out there and learn how to memorize a deck of cards and start practicing it in the ways that I've recommended.